Sorry. Hey, have I mentioned how much I hate the new Facebook platform, or whatever you want to call it, the new the design? It is horrible. It's horrible on a computer. I do most of my Facebooking on a computer. That's why when I run around and you guys message me, and I don't answer because I hate using my phone. All right, so I need to address a couple things. This is going to be a fairly short one. I know I always say that, because we have the RNC starting, right? So I got to make sure that we don't miss any of that. But I hit it on my DVR, and I like to be a little bit delayed. With all that in mind, we have some stuff coming up in our future that is being created mostly by the politicians and the media, either on purpose or by accident. Or they're trying to be so politically correct that they are actually harming us more than they are helping us. And I'm going to talk about that right after I bring up a couple of my sponsors. Really important here. We are live streaming on StreamYard. And I would be amiss if I did not talk about, because I have one Friday is going to be the last day for this program. And I'm teaching people how to use StreamYard, how to do exactly what I'm doing using this platform, using StreamYard. You first want to get StreamYard. There's a free version that you can try for a little while that has a little watermark or the logo up in the corner, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it's enough for you to get started and do some stuff. So you want to do this first, whether you get the free version or the entry level version or the pro version. Go to getstreamyard.live. You're going to get that. It's a great product. It's the best live streaming platform right now available. I have used them all over the years, and so use that platform. And then you're going to want to get my training program. It's only $9.99. On Friday, it will be going up to $14.99. For $9.99, you're going to get the basic program and the intermediate program that have a number of videos that teach you first in the basic program how to simply get started and begin to do your show. Intermediate, you then begin to get to know. That's a good sentence, right? You then get to know the banners like I'm using now, the lower thirds that I have right there, how to use a frame, how to use an overlay, how to create them, how to use other programs to create them, some for free, some for a little bit of money. And that whole intermediate program teaches you how to use all the bells and whistles. And then there's going to be an advanced program, which you'll get a discount on if you buy now. That discount will be gone as of Friday. All right. And then today's happycoffee.com. I thought I had, here we go. You got to go there and get some of this. There's a different drinks. There's coffee. That's hence the name, today's happycoffee.com. And then you have lemonade, you have peach tea, you have chai tea, great stuff. Happy hormones are in there, which is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and the other one, shoot, where's my thing? Oh, it's on the floor. I'm not going to get it, but they're good. I'm telling you. The reason I'm so happy and really don't care that it fell on the ground, I'm so happy that it fell on the ground. That's because it has these happy hormones. The other thing is today's CBD. Make sure you get that. It's made by Viseo, one of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world. It's fantastic. Go to today'scbdo.com and go to today'sviseo.com. All right. And for all the other wellness products, like this great shake that we have here. The great protein shake. It's fantastic. I love the vanilla. I like the chocolate, but I love the vanilla. All right. I'm normally a chocolate guy, but in this product, and it is grass-fed whey. All right. Had to go through that super fast because I want to get to this content really fast. All right. So I had other content that I was planning on doing. I'm going to have to do it tomorrow that has to do with everything that's going on politics. This, although has a lot to do with politics, there's more to it than that. And these are all these shootings. We have the George Floyd, well, it's not a shooting, death. You have now I forgot the guy's name, the guy in Atlanta. Shoot, forgot his name. And now we have shootings last night. Two people were shot last night. And so we have a lot of shootings going on. And then the shooting before that, the shooting that led to the violence in Wisconsin. So we got these 4 different shootings. 3 of them involve black men who were shot by police. White police. And we're told, right, how horrific all of it is, right? It's all terrible. It's all racist. All 4 of them are racist, is what we're being told, except for the last one. The one last night is not racist because I believe it was white on white. And so nobody really cares. right? But and nobody cares when it's black on black. So as long as blacks are killing black, apparently, as far as Democrats are concerned, that's okay. All right, we just ignore that. We ignore the hundreds that are being killed black on black, right? When it's white on white, nobody cares for obvious reasons. Nobody cares about white people. We're all racist anyway. And then you have white cops or even black cops. If it was a black cop, there'd still be the outrage when there is a black suspect who has been killed, a black criminal who has been killed. It is somehow way racist, right? It's so bad when a criminal gets killed doing criminal things and with criminality involved at the time the death occurs. It is so horrific we have to destroy our country. All right? A black baby being killed by a black man, nothing. A white man being killed by a white man, obviously nothing. But a black criminal in the act of committing a crime none of them cooperated, right? They all resisted arrest, and somehow it destroys our country. All right, call me heartless, call me whatever you want. I don't care because this is really the truth, all right? I'm speaking the truth to you. And I'm speaking the truth to you on this next subject matter in regard to these shootings. Hey, Loretta, nice to see you. The peach tea is crazy. You ordered the peach tea. Thank you, Loretta. Another one of my really good friends who actually ordered some of the product. Thank you. Hey, Amy Feltz. Nux, what's happening? Oh, nice. Very good. All right. Outstanding. Hey, Jordan, nice to see you. Oh, gosh, I got to see that link. Hold on. I'm going to have to go somewhere else to pick that up. Jacob Blake admitted being oh my gosh, you ruined it for me because I was going to talk about, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I know. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I would have been right. So either way, I want you to know that I was going to be right because my purpose for coming on the show is talking about, thank you, Jordan, for bringing that up. I'm going to try to bring that up the best that I can while I'm talking. And that is, and so, Jordan is the best. If you've not followed Jordan, you got to follow her. Just look on my personal page. I shared a video that she did. I think you did it this morning or yesterday. Oh, no, that's okay. Sorry. No, because I love being right. I was going to be right either way. I was going to be right without even knowing. But now you see this smile? Not smile that somebody's got shot and is paralyzed. I'm not happy about that. Regardless of what you think of me, whether I'm a cop or whatever, I didn't want to shoot the guy that I shot when I was a cop. Right? I didn't want to be shot at the 3 times I was shot at. I didn't want to crash my car chasing and going to a call where I was trying to save somebody's life and I crashed my car and nearly died. I didn't want to do that either, but I did want to get there to help somebody not die. Just because, I mean, we have a little bit of a weird sense of humor, cops do. Admittedly, we do have a way of talking about things. It sounds like we don't care, but I could tell you stories, and at some point, if you watch me long enough, I'll tell you a story. But Andy's always right. That's what I'm laughing about. Is that listen to me, please, people. When this is out of hand, then I know there's nothing we can do about it. I know that it's like the what's not the cat's out of the bag. What's that? The Jack in the Box is out of the box. Whatever it is, it's already out. All this is our life, right? Anytime a black man gets shot by law enforcement, even when he's committing a crime and resisting arrest, somehow the world needs to burn. That is the way that it's going to be. The problem is you have a presidential candidate who said that it was unjustified on the day that it happened without knowing what happened. You can't have a presidential candidate. You can't have a governor. You can't have a mayor. You can't have news people on the air saying, oh, that is horrible. That's so unjustified. How do you know it's unjustified, you Nimrod? You didn't, again, Donald Trump, whatever you think of him, everybody hates him, right? Not everybody. I love him. But everybody that hates him is what I meant to say, is quick to say, well, look, he doesn't say how bad it was. He's intelligent. He's an intelligent human being, right? He's like me and Jordan and Amy and Loretta, who understand, like, I can't see in the car. I'm telling you, yesterday, I just testified in a court case against a police officer. I did. That's what I do. I testified, and they asked me, officer, can you see what the dog's doing inside the vehicle? And my answer is no. I can't see what he's doing. But based on what I know about dogs and how they work and that kind of stuff, I can give you an idea of what's happening inside the vehicle. Right. So you have to be true. I could not see in the vehicle yesterday. I was on the stand in a federal court case being questioned about what I could and could not see. I do this for a living. I know And I know law enforcement, even though they do things wrong, even though they so badly want to catch the bad guy, they do make mistakes. But you can't say all of them are racist right out of the gate because somebody got shot that happened to be black. He was a criminal. He just happened to be black. I know that sounds, to many people, that's going to sound racist. To LeBron James, I sound like a horrible, miserable person. To somebody who supports China, where they're actually torturing people and have slaves, right? That guy who supports slavery, who supports Uyghurs being tortured, he's telling me that I'm a racist cop and that Black Lives Matter and all this other BS, right? But listen to me. When Joe Biden comes out and said this is unjustified, news pundits and everybody else on the planet really they just want to be on the air saying this is just horrible, and it was wrong. It was wrong that the guy is a sexual predator, that he is involved in domestic violence at the time of the call. And then when they get there, that if you've never been a law enforcement officer, when you get to a call knowing that you're going to be dealing with a violent human being who has a history of violence, who's been known to carry dangerous weapons, and in other words, guns and knives, and actually he has a knife. Now, when you watching who disagree with me have been in that situation, when you are walking in and you have to deal with somebody that you at some point you're gonna have to arrest based on that he has a warrant for his arrest, that he's a sexual predator, that he has domestic violence in his history and currently is committing domestic violence, and he's armed and dangerous, you're gonna tell me that you go there going, "Hi, sir. Oh, go ahead and run into your car. No big deal. I'll just keep my guns in the holster. Not a big deal." And he's going to get ready. This armed and dangerous sexual predator, domestic violence suspect is getting ready to get in a car where there's children. And you're telling me, law enforcement, you're telling me as a viewer, as a citizen of the United States, that the cop should have just let him go, right? Sexual predator, wanted for domestic violence, wanted for committing a crime, a felony, who is known to carry weapons, who says he has a knife at the time. You're telling everybody in the world and every criminal in the world that, you know what, the cops should have just let him go and not that big of a deal. Juan, whatever his name, Juan Williams on Fox. We don't know what happened when it gets in that car. And my point before Jordan ruined it, thanks Jordan, is that we don't even know if one of those gunshots isn't his, right? We don't know that. Everybody said, well, we heard 7 guns, the cops murdered him and shot him in the back. I heard this from people that weren't there. They shot him in the back 7 times. And that wasn't from the attorney. I expect that to come from the victim, the suspect / victim's attorney. I expect that from that attorney. I expect that from the family members. Of course, they're going to get on television. Of course, when Fox and CNN and MSNBC turn their cameras on, of course, you expect the attorney representing the guy who's now paralyzed because he was an idiot and got shot by the cops. They're going to say, oh, he was going to be so disappointed. He's such a the guy that just beat up his wife, the guy who is a sexual predator, he's a loving man, and he wouldn't want all this to happen right now. And he was just going to his car and needed to be left alone and his poor children. His poor children has watched him beat his family, probably. I don't know that for sure, right? See how I am? I don't know that, but probably that's what they do. They see him yelling and screaming. They're in the car watching him do whatever he was doing before the cops got there, being an idiot and a moron. Right? It's not the officer's fault. Our job is to get there and to do something, mostly arrest the criminal who's committing a felony. And we can't be expected to let this guy go. And then now all of a sudden they're made demons, and you want them arrested and you want them fired and you want them hung right there on the streets for something you know nothing of. You know nothing of what it's like to try to wrestle somebody that doesn't want to go to jail, who especially those who have been to jail before. You have never, they fight like nobody's ever fought, you've ever fought like in your life. If you've ever been a fight in high school or junior high, or you've been in a fight in a bar like I have, those are like just mutual combat. You're fighting each other. Nobody really you may want to kill the other guy, but there's some kind of politeness. I've been on a fight on the ice in hockey against firemen and policemen. I've been in fights on the ice. I've been fighting bars. Those fights are different than the fights that I've been in when I'm trying to arrest a felony parolee on the streets. They're different. I am telling you they're different. You don't have to believe me. I am telling you, whether you believe me or not, I don't care. Trying to arrest somebody who knows that by them being arrested, they're going to go back to prison. They fight differently. And so you have to fight differently. I fought one day because I thought I was going to die. When you fight because you think you're going to die, you fight differently. When you're trying to arrest somebody who thinks that they're going to go to prison and their life is over, they're never going to see their kids again, they're never going to see their family, no matter how horrible there is some aspect that they don't want to go back to jail because they may not see these people other than through a plexiglass window or a gate, right? They're going to fight differently. I'm telling you, they're going to fight differently. And it is not fun, and it is not pretty, and it is difficult. I don't know, what else to tell you. It is not easy. And so you can't tell these cops, you can't tell me, you can't tell anybody unless you've been there to understand what it's like to try to fight somebody and arrest somebody that does not want to go to prison or back to prison. Back to prison is even worse than going to prison for the first time because they don't know what it's like. So now we get to that doorway. Just like George Floyd had a little wet tab in his mouth that we didn't see until recently that possibly killed him. I'm telling you, that thing right there may get those cops off. I'm telling you, because everybody hits the fan, even me, I think at a certain level on that one, go, oh shoot, there's a chance that this cop, the one cop for, may, the other cops maybe for sure are going to not be charged with murder. They may be charged with something else, maybe assault under color of authority. They'll serve some time, but they're not going to serve time for murder if the jury believes that fentanyl that he had in his mouth could possibly, it didn't have to kill him. It could have, if it possibly could have killed him, that's all they need in order to find the officer innocent of murder. So understand that when we don't have all the facts, when we don't know everything that's going on, that by telling the world that these cops are guilty before you know anything about the case, you're setting us up for failure because it is already a gas and fire and matches and explosives all are kind of hanging over this thing, right? And you're piling more explosives, piling more every time you get on the air and say this is unjustified. Every time you get on and say, oh, those cops need to go to prison. Every time you get on, oh, those cops need to be charged with murder or whatever. You're piling more explosives on there. And I'm telling you, when you find out that it's not what you thought it was, you're setting yourself up for failure. So now, please, I'm going to now, instead of doing what I was going to do, I need to go really quick. And I hope, ooh, man, I almost clicked myself off of here. That would have been bad. So let me see what Jordan sent me there. Unfortunately, I can't click on that link in StreamYard. That's something that probably should be fixed, if I'm going to be honest. Hold on. Jordan, I hope you're watching on my personal page. If you are, because the link will be there if you are. If you're watching on the Facebook Live TV show, probably watching on the Facebook Live TV show. Okay, hold on. All right. I'm on so many different platforms right now. I just want to see what Jordan sent me. Jordan. Jordan's a legend. While I'm doing that, you got to follow Jordan. She is fantastic on her live broadcast. If you're not following her, you need to follow her. I'm going to try to make it so that you don't hear my own broadcast coming across the mic here. I'm just trying to find the link. I should have asked... Vake. Did I mention at the beginning that I hate Facebook? It's just sitting here. I wish I could show you the screen. It's just black. Nothing's happening. Vake. Well, I'm going to take it for granted that what Jordan said, that he admitted to having a gun. Again, if he admitted to having a weapon, I'm assuming it's a gun. If it's a knife, that's okay too. And I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of a thing here. But as you see the video, and I showed the video the other day, I'm going to get rid of this other lower third. I'm going to have pants on. Sometimes I do the show and I don't have pants on. you know what I mean? I have, never mind. Okay. So as he comes around the door, so I'm going to use this as the door here. And you see, now when you get in a car to sit down, you go like this, right? You sit down, you grab the wheel, and you sit down in the car. What I see from the video, from the distance, is when he opens the door, he goes down like this. That is, for me, that's all I need to see to say, wait 1 second. That is not the move of a man who is trying to get into his car to get away. That is a man, and I've seen it 100 times. I fought a man. I told the story, I think, yesterday, is that I fought an older man at the time. I think I was in my late 30s, maybe early 40s. This guy was a homeless guy. He was probably in his late 40s. And the word over the radio came out that he had a warrant out for his arrest. And at that time that he heard he had a warrant out for arrest, he dove for his car. There's a whole other story of why my primary officer wasn't close enough. She wasn't. Anyway, it was bad. She should have been in a better position. There's certain positions you need to be in when you're getting information off the radio, so that when it comes across the radio, or you have it turned down enough so he can't hear, that it doesn't say, hey, your suspect has a felony arrest warrant, right? That's, unfortunately, she did not do that. And so he heard, oh, I got a felony arrest warrant, and he dove for his car to get his hand, and he started sticking his hands underneath stuff. I dove on top of him, and I'm punching him in the back of the head as hard as I can, and he's still digging. I punched the door from my dog. The dog comes out, and dog bites him on the back of the leg, and together, me and my dog pull him out. The officer, she was doing nothing. She's what do I do? What do I do? So anyway, my dog and I had to wrestle this guy out. I did not know. There was a thought for a moment that I may have to shoot this guy in the back of the head, because I don't know. Again, listen, you are not there, and I'm not trying to tell you that cops. I'm out of breath now. I'm not trying to tell you that you need to. I don't know how to say it to where it doesn't sound like I'm trying to justify, cops doing certain things, that kind of stuff. I'm just telling you that it's not as easy as you may think it is when you're fighting somebody and you think that you might die. There's this thing in your head that tells you, I got to stay alive. And these two cops that have a gun out, the guy's not listening. They know that he's a dangerous suspect, and they're trying to get him, and they're pulling on his shirt, and he pulls away, right? And then he starts, and then there's a lot going on in their heads. I'm telling you another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, and I hope I'm not rambling and going off on different places, that the one thing that you don't also understand is they have what is going on in our world right now in their brains, which I didn't have. After Rodney King, I did, but before Rodney King occurred, when we were arresting Mexicans, black guys, Asian guys, white guys, it was just suspect. We were just arresting a suspect. We didn't have white guy we can kick his ass. It's okay. We can bite him with a dog. Nobody cares, right? Asian guy, not too many people cares. There was a joke that I was going to say that I'm not going to say. Mexican guy, if you're trying to arrest him in a Mexican area, then people start coming out, because there's 10 to 15 people that live in each one of the 2-bedroom apartments that will come out, and it happened to me several times. And so that's slightly different. So you're aware of the race of the person you're arresting in certain locations, because the outcome, it can be different based on where you're arresting them and what's happening. All right. But today, anything you're doing with all respect to my black friends who I love to death, is that when my brethren and my sisterin are out there arresting a black person, there's a lot more that goes through your mind. And I don't know how else to say it. Do you not think that that's the case? Is that not what our world is doing right now? That a black person, right? Think differently. Whether it's right or wrong, I'm just telling you that's the way it is. And I'm just trying to tell you the truth. When a white law enforcement officer dealing with a black suspect, you begin to think differently. I'm telling you, all the studies show that white officers are less likely to use force on black suspects. I don't care what you think. I'm telling you this, what the studies say, what the FBI says. They say that they are less likely to be brutalized because of their color, because of this thing that's kind of going on now. And that hesitation, yesterday I thought, God, I just didn't like the way they hesitated. Why didn't they go in and tackle him and commit and get in there and just take him down? Like, just grab him and take him down, holster that weapon, take him down. Why not? Well, one of the things I heard is that he was armed with a knife. You don't want to wrestle with somebody with a knife. I'm afraid, I hate to tell you, because somebody's going to die. It's probably going to be the suspect. But I'm just telling you that there's a lot going on, and some of it is the hesitation because the suspect is black. Whether you believe me or not, whether you think that I'm speaking out of turn or racist, I'm just telling you that is a fact, and I'm telling you the truth. So you have the hesitation. You have the guy not going to sit down. You have the guy diving into his vehicle, And my whole point of this thing is that is the thing we don't know. Where did his hand go? If a hand goes underneath the seat and disappears, what else would he be going for? If he's already resisting arrest and diving into his vehicle and sticking his hand somewhere in a vehicle where that doesn't happen when somebody gets in a vehicle normally, other than on the ignition, right? Your hand goes on the ignition, completely different thing. If the hand goes, I don't know where else, on the steering wheel, different thing. But if the hand, one or both, go into a place where things are kept, you expect only when the suspect is black that they not defend themselves or get the jump on what potentially could be a deadly weapon? Is that what you're asking from law enforcement? That they are to wait until the gun gets pulled out. If they wait until the gun gets pulled out, every study shows, and I have done this I've trained law enforcement across the world, and especially in North America, on use of force for years. And the time that it takes for you to respond to something you see is too great to overcome before you get shot. The time delay that allows your brain to perceive the threat, to then process it, go down your arm to your finger to pull the trigger to respond, you will be too late in most cases, unless you're anticipating the potential of there being a weapon. Now, if the officer is sitting there with his gun, now I'm the officer behind the sus, I'm trying to stay in frame here. If I got my gun and now I'm chasing this guy in and he's leaning in and I got my gun and I see his hand dive underneath, at what point are you suggesting that I wait to shoot? Because if he's down here and he just simply does this and now the gun barely appears, right? It just barely appears and he fires, cop is dead. One cop down, second cop is going next. He bam comes up and bam and shoots the next guy, and then you got two dead cops, which is fine, I'm sure, for LeBron James. He would be okay with that. I'm sure that there's a lot of people to be okay that the cops would get killed, but I'm just asking you, is that what it is that you want in our law enforcement? Is that what you're expecting? Because if that's what you're expecting, then I tell every one of them to get out of the business. Get out of law enforcement. We are not to wait to get shot before we can return fire. That is not the way that it works. I hate to tell you. And you know, the stories of, hey, he was going for his waistband, it looked like a gun. That is the way. Don't resist. If I say put your hands up, it's because I don't want you putting your hands near your waistband so that I might shoot you. I don't want you putting your hands in your vehicle underneath the seat because I'm going to shoot you. All my career, 30 years in law enforcement, the 30 years in my involvement in law enforcement, I was 21 years at Anaheim Police Department, but I'm, like I said yesterday, I just testified yesterday in a court case involving a criminal case involving law enforcement. And that is not the way that it works. It can never work that way, or else we lose law enforcement. We lose law and order. We have to have the upper hand. We told you to stop. We told you to not put your hands underneath the vehicle. We told you to put your hands up. We told you to get on the ground. We told you whether you think it's justified or not. I don't care. We can find out later if it was justified. Sue me. Call my sergeant. File a complaint if you don't think. And that's what we would tell them. Okay, if I'm wrong, file a complaint, but get on the ground. If I'm wrong, sue me in federal court. I was sued in federal court. But you cannot expect these men and women, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, American citizens who live next door to you, who go to work every day to protect you. They wake up, they get dressed, they kiss their kids goodbye and their wife or their husband goodbye, and they get in the car and they go to work to go change lives, save lives, protect lives. And now they're the devil. Now they're evil people. Now you want them to actually get shot first before they return fire. That is completely unacceptable. The worst thing, I think, even with that, is that you have a presidential nominee who says that it was unjustified before he knows anything about the case. If he doesn't get voted at all, he should not be voted for that one thing, in my opinion. For getting on whatever it was, Twitter or a press release, or whatever it is that said. And again, I know he probably didn't write it, but it doesn't matter. He hired the person who wrote it for him that said, Another black man died at the hands of police in an unjustified shooting. I'm pretty close to what it said. Oh, I actually have it right here. It said, this morning, the nation wakes up yet again with grief and outrage. Outrage. Yet another black American is a victim of excessive force. Bullshit is what I'm telling you. That is bullshit. And he should get no votes just because of that. And it's because of the reason that Jordan brought up. And I was just going to say, without that knowledge, say, we don't know yet if there is a weapon. That is, what is he going to do now? What is he going to say now? Well, it's still not justified because they should have shot the cops first. What is the next move after this? What do you have after you say that it's excessive force and unjustified when you find out that the idiot was going for a gun? It wasn't enough that he was resisting. It wasn't enough that he's a sex criminal. It wasn't enough that he was a domestic violence monster. That he probably did this in front of his kids. Again, I don't know that for sure. That's not enough for you. But what are you going to do now? If what Jordan sent me shows that he had a gun or a weapon or a knife or whatever, and he was going for it, and he admitted it, and I love when they admit it. Now what are you going to say? Dimwit Biden, you moron? Now what? It's still not justified? I still stick by my... The president, well, I don't care. The president let 150,000 people die. It's his fault that everybody got the coronavirus. What? It was his fault that Cuomo also put him in the nursing home? Is that Trump's fault? Oh, am I fired up right now? I'm just so freaking fired up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Straight facts. Thank you. Oh my God. I got a headache. I need a drink. Well, they want to cause destruction. That's why he said it. And again, I think that that was what my original show was going to be, is that there's a level of that the Democrats, and I'm going to leave it with this, all right? Because I know we got the RNC coming on, and I got to get some food, and I got stuff going on. But I'm just telling you, Jordan, thank you for sharing that information, because now it's like, for sure now I know what I was going to say was, because I didn't know, was that if we find out there's a gun in that car, if we find out that there's a knife in that car, even a knife, right? They'll be able to, if there was a hammer, it doesn't matter. I thought the guy in my case that my dog bit him, and the guy nearly died in that case too, because my dog got his the artery, the femoral artery on his leg, femoral, right? Carotid, femoral. Am I right? I don't know why I'm missing that. The dog got his femoral artery. That's the one in the leg, right? And tore it open, and he was bleeding like a stuck pig. And the officer that I was working with, she goes, "Oh, I'm not putting it in my car. He's bleeding too much." The hospital's right across the street. Put him in your effing car and drive him to the emergency room. So the guy almost died because my dog bit this guy. All right. I do need a drink, Larry. Shoot, now I completely forgot what I was going to say. Shit. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, man. Jordan, I wish you, I hope you grow in whatever it is that this is going to come of you sharing your voice. As you know, and you know what's crazy? After these facts doesn't change all the damage BLM did, and they won't be sorry. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going, because so sorry. Because what I was going to say is that that the Okay, listen. I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like I'm just what do people call me? A Trumpster, Trumpaholic. I don't know. They call me all kinds of different names, right? And I do not believe that what I'm about to say is not truthful. I think it's a fact. I think that there's nothing that has shown me in the last several months that doesn't tell me this thing, that the Democrats do not care about their constituents. They do not care about their voters. They do not care about the Americans. They only care about themselves, and they only care about the power that they're going to get once a vote is over, and they pray that they're going to get elected. They do not care about what's happening in their cities. If they cared what was happening in their cities, do you not think that they would actually call the federal government and say, listen, we can use those troops today? Immediately. Let's just say that the first couple riots, let's say the Minneapolis riot, all right, that happens, and they go, oh shit, maybe we should have called. I'm sorry, I don't have my disclaimer up. Maybe we should have called for the troops a little bit earlier, right? Maybe Maybe we should have not waited until the sixth day that they burned down buildings. Maybe we should have called them after they burned down the first police precinct, right? So you got Minneapolis. I'm going to give you Minneapolis, right? And then you got then Seattle, right? You're okay as an American, as a mayor, as a governor, as city council members. You saw what happened in Minneapolis, did you not? All right. I'm sure there was something in between there. I'm not sure why I'm missing something. Maybe New York, there was some writing before Seattle. I think there was some, but you got one, you got two. Now, listen, most people like me and Jordan and Amy and everybody else that's watching live here, Larry and everybody else, we have enough common sense that, you do something, you get hurt, you go, oh, I shouldn't do that again. And then you forget and do it again. Oh, and now pretty much, I'm going to turn off the power before I tried to change an electric outlet. The first two times I did it, I got shocked and nearly died. All right. You're probably not going to do it a third time. All right, so then you have, let's just go with Portland. I'm going to just say Portland, because I know there was writing in Atlanta and all these other places, but let's just take Portland. You've already saw Minneapolis, Minnesota get burned down. You already saw, let's say, New York get burned down and a bunch of buildings looted and a whole bunch of crap like that, right? You're a leader right? Supposedly you're not stupid. Supposedly you're not a dimwit. But you see, okay, listen, this cannot, as a leader of Portland, Oregon, as a leader of Seattle, Washington, I cannot allow my voters, the business owners in my community, to lose more than they've already lost in the pandemic. I am not, as a chief of police, going to allow people to vandalize anything, break a window. I'm not going to allow them to spray paint anything, not even a B of BLM, where they won't even they'll get the line. They won't get the butt, all right? They'll get the line, but you're going to be arrested before you get done writing that butt in the B, all right? That's where Portland and Seattle should have been. You just saw what happened in Minneapolis and New York. If they cared, if Democrats cared about their citizens, if Democrats cared about their business owners, if Democrats cared about their city and the property within the city and the economy of their city, they would have stopped it with the first brick. They would have stopped it with the first spray can spray. They would have stopped it before anybody went into a store and stole a Bruno Magli pair of shoes. This is how you know that they don't care. They do not care, because secondarily, when do they actually take action? When their property gets trespassed on, or when they begin to get threatened, because they only care about themselves. You can see that. And again, I was going to save this all for the other show, but it all goes in with what, Larry, Jordan just mentioned, everything like that, that they are encouraging this activity. They love this activity as long as it doesn't affect them. Like if they went to Delaware and killed one of the geese on Biden's ranch or whatever he lives, I don't know what it is. He lives on a large piece of property. If they killed one of those geese that were honking at one of his things that he was doing, the Secret Service would have been there. The military would have been there. People would have been taken into custody. Nobody would have been allowed to do anything around the perimeter of Joe Biden's compound that he's at. The moment somebody would have stepped anywhere near Joe Biden, they would have been taken down. But he doesn't say anything. The DNC doesn't say anything, and they don't care about anything that's going on. As a matter of fact, they downplay it and say it's really not happening. It's a myth. But they know that it's happening. They enjoy it. They encourage it. It's unjustified. It is outrage. Oh, I have outrage that this occurred. Go out and do more. Right? They got a fan with the flames. They're trying, hey, this fire is not big enough. Go, right? They're probably going, all right, we need another fire. There's another precinct that's not on fire. It's 2 blocks down and to the right. Make sure and get that. And they blow it up, right? They get Biden and all those people, all the DNC are going, okay, we got to get that. But don't come to our house. All right? You just understand that we're helping you. We're giving you money. We've given you these buses so that you can bus these people in to Kamala, Washington, whatever, Wisconsin. Whatever that place is, Okomish, whatever it's called. All right. They're busing people in. Most of those people aren't even from that town, whatever it's called. They're shipping them there. They're encouraging it. They know what was going to happen. They know that it's what are we, 80, 90 days? I don't know if it's still happening in Portland. I've lost track if it's still going because we got so many shit going on anywhere else. And I know I've gone on and on and on, and I know I'm losing you guys, but I'm just telling you that I'm not wrong. As Loretta said, I'm always right. Maybe not always, but I'm often right in these things. Wake up, you dimwit, not Republicans, none of you conservatives, none of my followers, but you got the Democrats. And I know there's some that watch because they'll send me those little nasty little notes every so often. Like, you can't say that. You're an idiot. How do you get that? You can't speak for me. Fuck you. And so I say, okay, fine. I don't care. But they don't care. They only care when it affects them. Beetlejuice in Chicago. Right? She's got security. They're threatening me. You can't threaten me. Right? They're threatening you. They haven't done shit to you, but you don't care that they're shooting all the people there in your community. You don't care that they're looting the buildings of the people that voted for you, the business owners that I think they voted for, and the city council members and what do they call those people? They don't call them city council. They call them something else, some other stupid name. She doesn't care about any of that stuff, right? But as soon as they're threatening me, so I need to have security. What about they're threatening the town? They're threatening communities. They're threatening children. Why don't you give them police instead of defunding the police? In Portland, same thing. They go to the mayor's house. Oh, we can meet a National Guard. They're at my house. Well, what? They were just doing the same thing everywhere else, and you didn't care, but now you care? That was Seattle. That was a female, right? But in Portland, you got this dude. Hey, I'm gonna go out there and join them. And I wish they just would have kicked his ass. Is what I wish they would have done, but they didn't do it. All right, so sorry. I know that I'm getting into the RNC. I know. I'm recording it, and that's right. Andy, the Dems don't give a crap. You're right. We are all suffering with these lockdowns and the rioting, and their pockets are still full. The disgusting, despicable pieces of shit is what they are. Go ahead and say it, Rebecca. I put the disclaimer there underneath. Words of wisdom do you want? Just not to me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it took me a second to realize what you were saying. Oh, my friends, this is all a setup. COVID-19, we know. I have doctor friends. I have a doctor just on. She was just talking about how she gives hydroxychloroquine to her patients, and they're doing well. And they're recovering faster than the people that aren't getting hydroxychloroquine. And she just did the thing. I know her. I know her from interviewing her a couple times and having private discussions. And she's going, I'm giving hydroxychloroquine, and it's working. People are living. People that would have normally been very, very ill are getting better. This is all BS. I mentioned earlier about Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci being roommates. And Dr. Fauci being the first CEO of Moderna, who's coming out with a vaccine. I'm not taking the vaccine. Are you? I'm not going to let my children. I bought 2 new shotguns and another handgun. Nobody's given my child a vaccine. I'm just telling you. And I know that I said that out loud to millions of people that are watching. But I'm telling you, I don't know what they're talking about how we'll get the vaccine and everything's going to be fine. No, my kids are going to be healthy. We take some good wellness products. We exercise. We get exercise and exercise and exercise, and we sleep, and we are good. I don't need a vaccine. We don't vaccinate them anyway. I'm one of those people. Yep. Sorry. All right. I don't even know how I got on that subject, but yeah, it's all BS. Everything's just gone mad. I'm so pissed, if you can't tell. And this just really set me off. If anybody votes for Biden, I will take you as a hater of law enforcement. I will assume that you hate America. I will assume that you are the racist, not me, because the people that are going to suffer the most without law enforcement are the black communities. And that makes you a racist, not me. All right, my friends, I love you all. Go Trump. And where's my sign? And Jesus is my savior and Trump is my president. That's all I got to say. That's what I end this on. And again, I love you guys. I got to go get something to eat really fast because I promised I would. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.